Hello everybody, welcome to Paradisia. This is episode 5, and I'm pretty excited about this episode. It took me a few days to get this completed, so I do apologize for the delay in getting the episode out, but I wanted to make sure that the work I was doing was perfect. And I'm pretty pleased with what I came up with, and I think that you will certainly enjoy it. So as you can see right now, I'm working on the main resort here that I'm going to have at the tip of this peninsula kind of thing here. I had a hard time with this road. For some reason, it just kept saying that it was too high, or the height was not correct or something, so I had to kind of finagle it around there with the Move It tool, which was the only thing I could really do at that point, but I'm glad Move It is in existence and allows me to do that, because otherwise I probably would have fought with that for hours. Anyway, so what we're doing here, we're going to be adding a few things. I'm doing some detailing work in front of the building, as well as a pool area behind the building, and some parking as well. And I decided to go ahead and leave the footage of me doing the parking in the video here as well, because it's pretty cool. It's not just a regular, boring old parking lot. I did add some pretty cool details to it, and I wanted to share that with everybody. So my idea for this little plaza area in front of the hotel was kind of like I wanted it to be like a little plaza gathering area where people at the hotel could come out and just, enjoy the weather. It would have a little shopping area, a fountain, some tables where you could sit and enjoy, a brunch or something like that, as well as having some food carts out there to sell food to the people. And that was my idea for this, and I think that you'll see it turned out pretty well. I was very pleased with it. The only thing I wish that we could have would be fountains that were animated, but I know that would be a killer on people's PCs. As it stands right now, City Skylines will pretty much murder your PC as it is, so adding animated water and things like that into fountains would probably not be a good idea. So right here, I found these decals on the workshop, and I thought they would be perfect to lay out here as just kind of some decoration. It would look nice from above, and I think it just looks nice in general around this area, and it gives it a more realistic look. And I also have these, here they are right there, these planters. They're kind of like some cities have them along the roadside. They're like cast iron grates that have trees and plants growing out of the middle of them. And that was just perfect for what I was doing, and they fit so nicely in the middle of those squares. So I dropped them in there. And that's going to be where I'm going to be putting some of the picnic tables, like under the shade and stuff there. Then, of course, we need some benches so people can have a seat and enjoy, because where we are right here, you can get a pretty good view of the sunset. The sun actually sets right along the coastline, opposite this little park here, so it's pretty awesome. And of course, any little picnic area or any large populated area like this will need trash cans. So one thing I've learned when you're doing this detailing, you don't want to leave out the little things like that, especially when it comes to, while you may not see it very well in the game, if you're doing screenshots and things like that, people pick up on those things, so you want to make it as realistic as possible. And one thing that I've started to try to do, or one thing that I'd like to do, is when I'm making these things and when I'm taking the screenshots, I want to try to make them look as realistic. I want to try to fool people and make them think that this is not a game, that it's actually like a photo or something from real life. Now, I know it's very difficult to do because, it's pixelated and stuff, but, with a little Photoshop magic, you can turn a picture from the game into something somewhat realistic looking. So what I'm doing here is I'm making a gravel path which I think I fight with this for a little while. I end up doing an actual path, but I first tried to do the surface painter just to lay out a gravel path here from the Plaza area to the beach. So I wanted to make a boardwalk over to that little island because it was an awesome little island and I didn't want it to go to waste. So we're gonna go ahead and do that here now. I'm just gonna draw out the paths, and then I do I believe it's a concrete walking path over the water. Which, okay, there we go. Yeah, use move it, lower that sucker down. And then I place the wood over it to make it appear as if it's a wooden path. Now with the prop line tool, it was acting funky and wouldn't allow me to drag it there. And copy and paste was acting funny too, so I actually ended up doing this by hand. And guess what? You're going to sit here with me while I do it. It didn't take really that long at all, so it's not too bad. And it is a little low, so I did raise it up there. I might have to go back and raise it up just a little more. I have to watch it and see what it's like as the water's flowing through there. But this turned out really cool, and especially from a distance, when you look at it, it just looks like a wooden walkway going across the water. And I was very pleased with it, as well as I keep saying we like we're doing this. Well, I guess we are doing this. I mean, I'm doing it and you're along for the ride and you give me ideas. So yeah, I guess I could refer to it as we. I refer to myself in the plural. Maybe I'm more than one person, who knows. Anyway, I'm losing my mind. It's very early in the morning for me, so don't mind me as I ramble on here. So I'm adding these little signs from the dog park, and I'd like to think that they're little information signs about the island, and something that says, like, you know, no glass bottles or something like that, just a warning sign. Then next here I add some, what do I add? Oh, I add the food carts, that's right. I spent a lot of time just looking through the props because at this point right now I have probably about 13 to 1400 different assets, and I really don't know. Like, I'll see something on the workshop that I like, and I'll add it, and I'll add it. I have this addiction. It's like an addiction. I go in the workshop and I just can't stop. But I add these things, and then I get into the game, and I'm like, what did I add? I forgot what I added. So I go through just, prop by prop. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. It's like, oh, I forgot I had that. Let me add that. So you'll see that happen quite a lot in my videos. And I have had some requests to put my mod list and put my assets in a collection on the workshop. I plan on doing that. It's just going to take me a little while. I've never put a collection together before, and I've heard it's not that easy, because you have to actually go through like mod by mod and asset by asset and add it to the collection, I believe. I don't know, I'll have to look into that, but I will definitely do that for you. It just might be another week or so before it's up, but once it's up, I'll definitely let you know. I'll make a post on my Twitter, a post on my Facebook, as well as a post in the general comments for my YouTube channel. And it'll be on the channel description page as well, so you'll be able to access it there if you want to know all the assets and stuff I'm using. But be forewarned, when I do upload those to or when I do get that list completed on the workshop, do not subscribe to all of them at one time and try to run them on your computer. If you do, your computer will probably explode. I recommend going through and just, picking up a few at a time that you'd like, and then at that point you can go on and do them. Don't do them all at once. Do them, in batches. That way you can integrate them into your city. I mean, unless you've got some kind of crazy supercomputer that can handle it, by all means, go right ahead. I'm warning you now. I'm not responsible for your computer exploding. So now that disclosure's out of the way, now behind the hotel here, I'm adding a fenced off area that is like it's like a little utility area, I'd call it, where the hotel would have some of their dumpsters, where they would keep like some of the golf carts and things like that for maybe the groundskeepers and things like that. It's kind of off hidden in the back area here. It's really the only appropriate spot for it, I think. And you can see I use these concrete walls as a nice little barrier to hide the dumpsters, which is pretty cool because you can't really see them from the street now if you're walking behind the gate there. If you're walking along the side, you don't really know there's dumpsters back there. So I thought that was a pretty cool little thing to add. And then of course, being a hotel like it is, I'm sure that they will recycle as large as they are. They have recycling, so we've got the giant recycling containers as well, and just the little shed for the groundskeeper there. And I played around with a few different types of sheds, and I think I like to go back with that wooden one there. And then I add some of the golf carts that the groundskeeper would use. I might replace that shed. I know it's just a little wooden crappy shed, so that might end up getting replaced later. I just don't have anything downloaded yet. I'll have to take a look on the workshop and see what I can come up with there for that. And of course, your standard keep clear signs so you don't block the dumpsters, because those have to be clear. Because the trucks come to empty those early in the morning or late at night. So if you're parked in front of it, they're not going to be able to take that trash out, and sometimes they only run once or twice a week, so you want to make sure that it's completely clear when they come to take that trash out. I'm just rambling on now about common knowledge nonsense. Let me stop. So I moved the barrier that I had there over to this side because I don't want the general traffic coming and driving through that area. It's really only going to be for deliveries and for trucks and things like that. But I also understand that this road is used for the parking garage. So what they would do is, you drive down there to park, but then when you leave the parking garage, you just come back up the road. There'd be no need to have the general traffic, just general public driving around that little area. And now is the parking lot. This is just a standard parking lot. I don't think this would be for like short-term guests or people who are maybe checking in or just visiting, I would say, because I've got plans for another part of this hotel in another video. Across the road over there and across from this parking lot is going to be the entrance to and the beginning of a golf course. So this parking could be for maybe people who want to come out and just golf. So they don't have to park in the garage, they can just park here and walk across the street and go golf. So that's why I made this parking lot along with the parking garage as well. And of course I wanted to kind of break up the boring old concrete. So what I end up doing is I put a lot of greenery, well, not a lot of greenery, but I do a lot of little grass planter things along the parking lot here. And it took me forever to get this the way I wanted it to. And luckily these little medium grass curb planter things are fantastic. I believe they are by King Lino, so I recommend downloading those because you can clip them, like I've said in the other episodes, you can clip them into each other and you're able to make these cool looking shapes. Now up close they don't look great like that because you can see where the lines are, but when you zoom out and then you have like trees and bushes in there, you can't even tell that they're little tiny pieces clipped into each other. So it works out nicely. I like it. And I even use the big ones here. I like the shape that it makes. I don't know what that was. Oh, that was too small. So yeah, I like the little shape that it makes on the outside there, where the two ends intersect. So I ended up leaving that. It adds something a little different to the curb and to the green area there. And of course we're just adding some more. It just took so long to do this. That was one thing about this game is it takes forever to get things right, but once you get it right, it just feels so good. It's like that sense of accomplishment. And Move It makes these parking lots just so easy too, because I can just copy and paste and I don't have to go through and do that. Same thing with the green thing there, just copy and paste, and it definitely speeds up the process. I'll tell you what. And then on the edge here I do a little entrance area, which I started with that and it just wasn't working for me, and I ended up going back to the just the regular ones there where I can clip them into each other. And the thing about these videos is you kind of get an insight now into my creative process. And I believe I said it in the last video. I do a lot of trial and error. I see what works, and if I like it, I keep it. And if I don't like it, I get rid of it. I don't use it. But I think that's the best way to go about doing this. Now I know there are some people, some creators, some builders who draw out plans and who know exactly what they want to do. And yeah, that is a good idea. It's probably a great way to do it, but it's just not the way I like to do it. I like to just start building and see where it takes me. Kind of like art, I would think. You know, you kind of have an idea of what you want the finished product to be, so you know what you want to do, but you don't have it set in stone. You know, you have a blank canvas and you just go with it. So that's what I use for my build style, and I think that while it may not work for everybody, it works certainly for me. And most of the time the results are good. Other times, no, not good at all. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting in some bus parking along the edge there, so people can, it's bus or truck parking, I guess. But that way, in case anyone has like a large RV or something like that, they can park there. And I realize that may not be enough parking, so I put in some other bus parking as well towards the end of the episode. And I had a blank space that I wanted to use up there. And here we go. We've got some purple flowers. I like these. I like these colored flowers, and I try not to overuse them because it can look kind of tacky if you do. But I think in the right spots, it looks pretty awesome. Now we're starting on the pool area, which if any of you, again, if you don't follow the City Skylines subreddit, you should. I posted the picture of this on there about 2 days ago. So that's a good way to get some previews of what I'm doing in the episodes here. Because I like to, after I've built it, I like to take a screenshot and show people what I'm doing, because I'm pretty proud of the work there. Now this is a cool little thing I came up with. The pools, the assets for swimming pools in the game are just non-existent. I mean, there's nothing to the scale that I needed. But I found these tiles of water where you can just lay down this square of water texture. Now, it's not like the surface painter. I wish it was a surface painter, because if it was, then I could have just painted the water on and made a little curb to make it look like a pool. This one is elevated, so I had to make this little concrete wall around it, because it looks like now it's an elevated pool. But what I do to it, it kind of makes sense. I mean, it works for what we're doing here. I make this elevated walking path, and then it kind of starts to come together. I like what happened. So it's like, it's just pretty cool. I like that. I like the way that turned out. Better than I had expected. And this is one of those prime example of just, wanting to do something and just trying it. And it ended up working out fairly well. Granted, I had to go back through and lay in the concrete, because whenever you lay out those concrete decals and then you place like a road or something over it, or a path, it deletes them completely. So I had to go through and fix that. And here we're going to do this little, just some little grassy areas to separate out the concrete from the pool. And then I surround the, just like I did in that other little housing area, and I believe it was the second episode. Then, yeah, it was the second episode. I laid out some rocks around here. I like the look that this gives it with the rocks around the pool. And I watched somebody else do this. I can't recall which one of the other YouTubers did this. It was one of the big guys. It was like either Flux. I think it was either Flux or Strict Toaster, one of the two. Did some sort of pool area with these rocks around it. I believe that's who it was. I'd have to go back and look again. But this is where I got the idea from, and it just works out so perfectly. I'm happy with it. And of course, you need more palm trees. so I add those. And I believe I start off here by adding, I try a few things. That wasn't working out. I ended up adding a playground. But I think at first I ended up doing like some weight benches or something like that. But then I thought weight benches probably wouldn't be safe for this area. There'd be a lot of kids. So I ended up just scrapping that idea and going back to a playground. And here I am again, just looking through all of the props. That's gonna be a recurring theme, because again, I said I have so many that I just don't know what all I have. So I sit here and fight with it for a little while. I should have probably cut that out of the video. I'm sorry. Maybe next time I'll cut that out. I mean, I guess I still could, because I'm actually watching the video right now in Premiere. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it. We'll see. Of course, we needed to add a Coke machine there, because what's the use in having a outside pool area without a Coke machine and a snack machine? And now we have some Olympic swimming pools, so people can come out and do some actual swimming exercise. And I wanted to add some smaller pool things in. Now I'm kind of imagining these as hot tubs, not swimming pools. So I do some more rocks around it there, just to kind of hide. I want to hide the backside of it. All right, then we've got some sitting areas here outside of the pool area. I'd like to imagine that maybe right inside the door there's a small cafe or something. So like imagine the corner of the building is a cafe, because you've got your seating here and you've got the seating out front, so people can go into the cafe or the restaurant, they can get their food, they can go outside and sit and enjoy it. So that's why that's kind of like what I'm getting at with this little area. And then I use the prop line tool to throw down some chairs and then move them around. And I actually I ended up for this part just laying them down, because I wanted them not to be so straight. I wanted them to look used, so I wanted them to be at different angles and not perfect. So that's why I ended up just laying them down myself, so I don't have to lay down the line and then go back and twist every other one of them. I just said, what, screw it, we're gonna just lay them down one at a time. And of course I had to add those little umbrellas there. They look awesome. And there I go, just adding some more benches. And these are, I'd like to think those are like shower rooms, changing rooms, and bathrooms in those little sheds there. Two male, two female ones. That way you can get showered and stuff before you're hopping in the pool, or showered after you get out. You can do it all right there if you want to. And there we go. I've got the basketball court. I thought it would be cool to have the basketball court out there. And you saw a minute ago there I added the sand and the weight benches. That's actually where I'm going to put a playground there. I delete those weight benches in a little bit there. And of course with the details, just some more trash cans and recycling bins to keep the environmentalists happy. Then I add a little curve around the sandy area there to kind of split it up from the surrounding area. And the playgrounds. Okay, there we go. I like that. That turned out pretty cool. And that'll do it for this episode. Go ahead and enjoy this short little cinematic here of what was completed. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to click that little bell notification so you're notified of when I do my next upload. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.